Hello, I'm Dan from ASRV Rentals and Sales, and today we're going to be taking a look at this 2022 Braxton Creek Bushwhacker Plus 15 FK. Just like always, I'll be showing you everything you need to know about the outside and then the inside of this trailer, so you'll be all set and prepared when you decide to rent from us. We're going to start in the front of this trailer here. We have a standard 20-pound propane tank. This is going to be for your stove, your water heater, and your furnace. It's going to last upwards of a week before you'll have to refill it, and if you do have to refill it, truck stations and campsites will do it for you. Behind that here we have our house battery. The house battery is going to be for very minor electrical things like the lights. It's going to be powered when you're plugged in with your vehicle and the engine is running, or if you're plugged in at your campsite. But you can leave this on, expect it to be running. We're going to continue on the driver's side of this trailer. There isn't much to note for now except for this freshwater inlet. This will be to fill up the freshwater tank on your trailer. So if you're dry camping, you're not plugged in, you're not hooked up to city water, you're going to be taking water off of your tank, and this will be how you fill it up. Below that we have our dumping station, so allow me to show you how to dump out the tanks. We're going to give you this sewer hose right here, and you're just going to clip it onto this outlet. You're going to take the other end with the elbow, and you're going to stick this in the ground at your sewage or campsite or wherever else you're dumping. From there we have two color-coded valves. We have the gray valve for the gray waste tank, that'll be for your sink and shower water, and we have the black valve for the black tank, that's your toilet water. It's pushed in right now, which means it's closed, and if I were to pull it out, it'd be open and the waste would be coming out due to gravity. All you have to do is open up the black one first, and then the gray one to kind of flush out your sewer hose. Once you're done, there will be gauges inside that will show you how full or empty these waste tanks are. So once they're empty, you can just push them back in, unscrew the hose, and you're all set. Over here we have our hot furnace exhaust, so of course expect it to be hot and do not put your hand here. As opposed to the freshwater inlet, we have our city water inlet here. So this will be when you have water hookup at, say, a campsite. You're going to screw the hose on here. It'll be the same hose as you use for the freshwater, but this will be to bypass the freshwater tank and go straight into your pipes. Next to that, we have our power cord connector. We will give you the power cord, and this takes 30 amp service. Once you're plugged in to 30 amp at your campsite or wherever else, all the major electrical appliances inside will be working. That'll be your AC unit, your TV, your microwave, and all your power outlets. Just like the furnace exhaust, this is the hot water exhaust, so expect it to be hot. And next to that we have our outside shower. Let's say you were at the beach and you want to wash up the sand or dirt or anything else before you head inside. There's just a little faucet in here you can use to wash yourself off. Coming around to the back of the trailer, there isn't much to worry about apart from the spare tire below here. And we have our back two jacks. They're going to be manual, and the crank for that we'll keep in this storage compartment over here. Now onto the passenger side, we have our big storage area for the back. I'll start with these two bags we'll give you. This bag here has our sewer hose that I just showed you. And in this bag here we have a few things. This here is a 30 amp to 15 amp adapter you can put onto the end of your power cord. We have our freshwater and city water hose here. And we have this black wire, which is our TV cable. And inside this compartment we have our power cord. Next to the storage compartment we have just some power outlets. You just want to make sure you're plugged into 30 amp connection for this to work. That concludes the outside portion of this video, so we're going to head inside here. You'll notice we have our detachable screen door here. As we enter the trailer, we have a few things of note. For safety purposes, we have our fire extinguisher here. In the back, we have our smoke detector. And below the table, we have our propane and carbon monoxide detector. Also, the entrance, we have our patio light, and we also have the control for the furnace, which will work on both electricity and propane. We have our TV here, and we also have a radio and Bluetooth panel here. In the kitchen area, we have our control panel, which will tell you pretty much everything you need to know about the RV. We have the levels of the tanks here, so if I hold down on each of these buttons, these will light up from empty to 1/3 to 2/3 to full. So as I hold down battery, you can see it's fully charged. As I hold down fresh water, you can see that's full, or about 2/3. We have our black tank, which is empty, and our gray tank, which is also empty. Below that, we have 3 switches, all for the water system. This switch is for the water pump, so when I switch this on, it'll start drawing water from the fresh water tank. You will not need to have this on if you're taking water from city water. Next to that, we have 2 water heater switches. You can heat up your water with 2 different sources. This one will be using LP gas, that's your propane. So this is basically when you're not plugged in at a campsite, you'll switch this on, you can hear the water heater go on outside, and then it'll take up to 15 minutes to heat up your water with propane. That's opposed to when you are plugged in to electricity at your campsite, we can use electricity instead to save your propane. It'll take the same amount of time to heat up your water. As far as the kitchen goes, we have a propane stove. So all you want to do is set this to this little spark icon and you can hear the propane come out. Then you're going to take a long lighter and just light it up like that. And below that we have a standard house microwave. Just make sure you're plugged into 30 amp electricity for this to work. Next to that we have our refrigerator. The refrigerator will run on propane when you're not plugged in. And when you do plug into electricity to shore power at your campsite, it will automatically switch over to that electricity. So no matter what, your fridge is going to stay on and your food will be kept cold. Here is our standard sink, and over here is our combined shower and toilet. We'll give you some bottles of solution for the toilet. So this is just to freshen up the toilet in case the smell comes up from the black tank. You just want to pour half a bottle down there just to freshen it up. And we do use RV specific toilet paper during rentals, so you're going to have to go to a Walmart and get RV Marine toilet paper at the camping section, or campsites will also sell this kind of toilet paper. To work the AC unit, this top dial will be how cold it is. So 1 will be the warmest, and then you can turn it all the way to 7 for it to be the coolest. Below that here, we have options for fan, which will just be the fan, or cool, which will engage the compressor, and that'll be the actual AC. Down here we have our fuse box and circuit breaker box, and we'll give you some extra fuses during your rental. In the back here we have this huge dinette, which will also turn into a very big bed, and I'll show you that right now. There's a 3-step process to take this table off. So if you look under here, you can actually loosen the table just like that, and you can actually take the table off. Secondly, you can loosen this part and take this part of the arm off. And thirdly, you're going to take this off just by unscrewing it. You can just pull it off like this. Next, you're going to take the tabletop and just rest it on these ledges here. And finally, place these cushions here, and this is your bed. In this envelope here, we've placed the online guide, we have our registration, and we also have the TV remotes, keys, and these extra fuses for the fuse box. And that'll be it for our 2022 Braxton Creek Bushwhacker Plus 15 FK. I'm Dan from ACERV Rentals and Sales, and have a great trip.